5 teams still in the hunt for the Division II Baseball National Championship here in Cary, North Carolina. Another elimination game as the Golden Rams of Westchester, 2-time national champions, most recently back in 2017, square off against the Rams of Angelo State, making it back for their 5th appearance here in the championship week. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano with you. And underway, Joe, we speculated back this weekend when Benjamin Elder did not make it out of the 2nd inning whether there might be a silver lining. Well, he gets the start today with the season on the line. And swatting it down, Jordan Williams, but Zach Wright will reach base to get things started here for Westchester.
Yeah, I mean, Elder just didn't have his best stuff in that first outing on Sunday. So here he is on only 2 days rest, but you can do that when you only work 1 inning.
First time these two teams have crossed paths this week. Angelo State did not have a loss this week until last night. This is a quick turnaround for the Rams, the shortest turnaround of any team so far this week, by virtue of losing to North Greenville, the #1 seed. Here's Justin Horn, the DH, with Zach Wright singling to begin this ball game. Horn, the grad student out of Willow Grove, PA, 2nd team All-Conference East Division. Westchester able to knock off the penman of Southern New Hampshire, and Justin Horn a charge into this one. What a start with your season on the line. First home run of the year for the grad student Justin Horn. A 2-run shot puts the Golden Rams on top here in the first.
Benjamin Elder has had a tough time. He gave up 4 runs, 5 hits in 1 inning his first outing. Now he gives up 2 runs here on this home run by Horn.
Well, these two teams got to the park, warmed up on the adjacent fields, but there was a lot of drama that unfolded in our first elimination game today. So both these teams were enthralled with what was going on in that game. Now have shifted focus. They take center stage. Here's Joe Kalick after Justin Horn. No home runs this year. Remedied that with this 2-run stroke.
That's 3 home runs allowed by Elder in just over an inning of work.
Yeah, Angelo State would go on to win that game after the early exit from Elder, but from their starting pitchers, 2 pitchers so far, they've gotten fewer than 3 innings of work. That's a shot foul.
Remember, he gave up back-to-back home runs against Southern New Hampshire.
It was the next
in his
pitch.
Last start. Yeah.
Joe Kalick, the sophomore out of Southampton, PA. Westchester's your 8 seed. Angelo State your 5 seed this week. Westchester out of the Penn State Athletic Conference, East Division. Angelo State out of the Lone Star Conference. The 2-2 from Elder. That one breaks in there for strike 3. So a good bounce back after the first 2 men had reached and scored for Benjamin Elder. Benjamin, senior out of Chico, California. First team All Lone Star Conference, first team All South Central Region this year. But some bumpy beginnings. Mike Ferrara comes up with 1 out, nobody on. Already a 2-run lead intact. The senior out of Jameson, Pennsylvania, who started his college career here in North Carolina at UNC Greensboro. And what a birthday he had yesterday. A home run blast for the birthday boy helped extend the Golden Rams season. One and two. Golden Rams, 2-time national champions, won it in their 3rd trip back in 2012, and when they came back in 2017, both those years were 4-0 journeys. And this is a walk to Ferrara. A single, a home run, a strikeout, and a walk so far. And pardon me, I think I said walk. A hit batter, and Coach Brooks is asking for a review.
Well, let's see. Did it change direction after it hit his foot? Maybe.
So really, that's not even the question. The question is there something that shows it didn't hit him? That's the burden. He has asked for review. Umpires first come together, see if anybody saw anything differently that would overturn the call anyways. This buys Benjamin Elder a little time on the mound.
I mean, honestly, I can't tell from that angle. To me, it doesn't look like it.
Well,
it looks like it's past his foot.
Well, not when it hits the ground. Does it scrape the cuff of his right leg?
I can't tell.
Again, the burden here is no longer did it hit him. The burden is, can you decisively say it didn't hit him? As the initial ruling was a hit batter. Right now, Westchester has the benefit of a 2-run lead. Zach Wright led off this inning with a single. And Justin Horn quickly made it 2-0. The Golden Rams DH will blast out to left.
If that is a hit by pitch, that's like the 8 millionth hit by pitch for Westchester hitters in this tournament. Well, in all seriousness, they had 5 of them yesterday in their comeback in 1 inning.
Remember Westchester in the first inning. First 3 batters reached via walk. They did not score. They're already off to a better start here. Then against the Penmen. Again, our umpires here on site are not looking at the replay. It is a head of officials who relays the decision to them.
Yeah, I agree with you that you can't reverse it based on this.
And due to lack of video evidence to the contrary, the call stands. So Mike Ferrara officially hit by pitch, gives way to Luke Cantwell.
That's a wasted challenge for Coach Brooks.
He now has 1 remaining. We'll have it as long as he is correct on future challenges. And then, of course, once the 7th inning rolls around, umpires can officially initiate the review as well as coaches. So runner on first, Ferrara. Luke Cantwell, the senior out of Broomall, Pennsylvania. He's 2 days shy of his 23rd birthday. If he's playing on his birthday, he's playing for a national championship. Second baseman is going to give way to the right fielder, Kobe Kelton. Good communication there by Austin Beck. 2 away. So on to the 6th spot in this lineup for the Golden Rams. Keith Flaherty hitting .289. Is the first hitter in the lineup below 300 that Benjamin Elder has seen. It's also the 5th senior he has seen here in the top 6 spots of the order. The exception was Kalick, the sophomore. Out towards left, looking for more. And the Golden Rams have had the golden touch here in the opening frame. 2nd home run of the inning. This one from Keith Flaherty. As the senior goes deep for a 5th time here in 2022. A 2-run shot with 2 outs makes it 4-0.
Now Elder has given up 4 home runs in 2 outings in an inning and 2/3.
On to Sean, says Stewicki. Sophomore out of New Jersey. Came into this week hitting .269. Been right at his average, hitting .270. That's a foul ball, not by much. Jordan Williams there at the hot corner.
There's a home run by Flaherty. Had the launch angle going.
Be a lot easier to track those down if they hadn't put that fence up. Seventh batter this inning, says Stewicki. 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Four runs have already scored thanks to a couple of 2-run home runs here in the first inning. And caught looking at strike 3. So Benjamin Elder, a couple of strikeouts looking recorded. But not before the Golden Rams strike first early and often. Here in the top of the first, they lead by 4. Already the second elimination game this week featuring the Golden Rams of Westchester. So far, so good as they continue to play baseball. Andrew Cantwell will get the nod. The sophomore makes his 14th appearance this year, but Joe, it's only his 3rd start as he has 23 innings under his belt this year, a 5.48 ERA. He's been entrusted, though, with a 4-run lead before he ever throws his first pitch here in Cary.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of these pitchers are getting a chance to start because by the time you get to this part in the rotation, you kind of run out of pitching a little bit. You want to save your bullpen, so you're hoping that, some of the relievers can pitch well into the 5th inning, and not have the bullpen have to come in too early.
Kobe Kelton leads things off. Look, Angelo State's more than capable of putting up runs. We just haven't seen it. As outscored 18-3 last night against North Greenville. They've scored over 630 runs this year to lead Division II. First pitch off the mark from Cantwell. Kobe Kelton, second team All Lone Star Conference this year, the senior. I mean, we've already failed to mention a pretty significant storyline, but Kelton will charge into this, out towards left and able to squeeze it in. Joe Kalick, little things going the way of Westchester. But it's the fact that Thomas Kane is in the lineup for Angelo State, the young man who we saw drive his shoulder into the ground on a diving catch effort yesterday. He is your starting center fielder. Now, he's not going to bat until the 7th spot in this lineup, as Kalick showing off his range out there in left.
Nice running catch. Yeah, we'll see Kane, which is pretty amazing because he was laid out, had the sling yesterday. We'll see him later on in the lineup.
Here's Austin Beck, who's been in that revolving door at second base. Beck, the second team All-American and freshman of the year this year in the Lone Star Conference. Former Allen High School Eagle out of the Dallas area. Comes up with 1 out, nobody on. All Beck has done as a freshman is hit .416 on the year, on base percentage .515, slugging .612. And even if he has a sophomore slump, he may have an All-American season next year. The 2-1 from Cantwell. Beck tries to bunt for a base hit. Oh, again, there's no throw to be made. It looked like that ball is probably going to die in the grass, but you might as well give it every chance possible to catch a little breeze and blow foul.
Yeah, I don't think that was going foul. But, I mean, there's just no way you're going to get him. That was a good bunt because it just plopped down there on the third base side. And Beck has a lot of speed, so there's no way to get him. But I understand what you're saying. If it's in the
at this
dirt
point,
area,
you're not getting the out.
Yeah, just let it go. But
100% not getting the out. You're 99% not going to see that ball go foul.
Yeah. Man, he's got a huge lead at first base.
So the bunt single from Beck. Here's Aaron Walters. Mentioned it's been a special time in San Angelo for Aaron with his dad as a volunteer coach, Bubba Walters. See how many games they have together remaining here in 2022. Senior trying to come through with the runner Beck on first. Aaron this year, first team All-Region. Batting just under 400 on the season at 398. Hitting .416 with runners on the base paths. Has one here. Only 5 flags remaining on those 8 flagpoles. We saw one lowered just a moment ago. Rollins has survived. They did so at the expense of the Mule Riders of Southern Arkansas in our first game. Runner caught off the base, but a great jump, and it will be likely a stolen base here for Austin Beck.
Could be, but they could charge an error to the shortstop for not catching that ball. I mean, it looked like a good throw by Ferrara, and Sestawicki just didn't catch it. So they don't have to give him the stolen base.
And they're not going to.
E6.
Error on the shortstop.
Because that's a good throw. It just clanked off his glove.
We've seen about 5 plays like that this week where now the runner going, but this is a hit and run. And since it's going to be caught in foul territory, all of a sudden you slam on the brakes and Beck has to get back. Aaron Walters fouls out, 2 away. May have been better off, although it wasn't the call. Laying off that one. I think Beck probably has third base cleanly.
Batting left fielder, number 10, Justin Lee.
Here's yet another All-American for Angelo State. First team All-American, Justin Lee.
There's something new. Justin Lee shaking hands with the home plate umpire, Trevor Henson. Hey, nice to meet you. What's that all about?
Respect can go a long way, Joe.
I don't think I've seen that.
Dane. Nice to meet you. I'm first team All-American Justin Lee. I'm number 2 in the nation in on-base percentage, 3rd in the nation in batting average.
That's fine, but
just a reminder, I don't get caught looking at strike 3 very often.
But the full-on handshake, I just, you don't see that.
You're more of an elbow guy?
No, I mean, you just acknowledge, hey, how you doing? But a handshake with an umpire?
Well, you certainly wouldn't do that to the umpire who was hit by a pitch on that hand.
That wouldn't be nice.
Runner on second, Austin Beck with 2 outs. Angelo State gave up 4 runs in the top of the first. Justin Lee would love to shake every umpire's hand while trotting around the bases. 9 home runs coming into this week, 80 RBI.
He was asking him if he had a sewing kit to sew his pants. Got a hole in them.
Yeah, not sure if we learned more about pitching depth or wardrobe depth this week. The 2-1 to Lee. Count goes 2-2.
It's the first time we've seen these uniforms from Angelo State.
Well, Angelo State, remember last year, beat Wingate, the eventual national champion, before the Bulldogs beat Angelo State twice. Angelo State's going to have a little reversal of roles. North Greenville beat them yesterday. If they were to win this game, they'd have to hand North Greenville 2 losses. Whoever wins this game is going to have to hand the number 1 seed, North Greenville, 2 losses to deny NGU a berth into that final. A decisive advantage for our 2 teams that are 2-0, Point Loma and North Greenville.
Yeah, Point Loma will play Rollins tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, and Rollins has to beat them twice, Thursday and Friday, if necessary.
Count has gone full with 2 outs. Beck still your runner on second, and he's going to be joined on the base paths by Justin Lee, who reaches on the walk. Austin Beck with that bunt single. A couple batters later, Justin Lee joins him. And here's Jordan Williams. Williams finally back to playing third base after working his way back in the lineup as a DH after an injury. Big opportunity here for Williams. Williams now hitting .376 on the season. Batting .340 this year with 2 outs.
He's got 5 RBIs in the first 3 games.
Angelo State struggled to plate runs against North Greenville last night. And North Greenville gets today off. But we'll await the winner of this one. Westchester, 4 runs in the top of the first. 2 two-run home runs from Justin Horn and Keith Flaherty for a 4-0 lead. As J.R. Gifford goes out to talk to his pitcher, Andrew Cantwell.
Justin Lee's talking to the first base umpire, Adam Berg. So, I mean, he loves
That's
umpires.
A little too far for a handshake. Just asking him, come meet me halfway.
No, he's having a full conversation with a first base umpire. And it's friendly. I mean, I think he just wants to get to know all the umpires. See, look, he's just, yeah. You're my guy. You guys, I love you guys.
He's telling each one of them that they're his favorite one here.
He likes the blue shirts.
Where can I get me one of those? 2-0 count to Jordan Williams, 5th batter this inning. In the bottom of the first, Angelo State is your home team in this elimination contest. It's the first time this week that the Rams have faced elimination after suffering their first loss last night. Westchester, just like Rollins, came into today having already survived once this week in an elimination game. Off speed 2-1, bat whipped around on this, and it's going to be off to the berm, out of play. This whole week's just been fantastic. To come out to the ballpark, great weather, so many great storylines for all these programs. Mentioned already a 2-time national champion in Westchester. They're the only team this year that has won before, and they've done it twice. Angelo State has certainly flirted with it, now in their 5th appearance. A 2-2 cut at the one in the dirt. Rams will strand 2. Andrew Cantwell had a 4-run lead before he ever threw his first pitch here in Cary. He steps off the mound after 1 complete inning, and a 4-run lead intact for the Golden Rams. Well, we mentioned this. That's Thomas Kane, and that's a great sight for Angelo State. after he left second inning, I believe, yesterday. Diving catch effort, couldn't make the grab and couldn't continue in the ball game. Had his arm in a sling the rest of the day. And we would have been surprised to see him not just less than 24 hours later, but again this week. So he's out there patrolling center. He'll be swinging a bat. Scheduled to bat second next inning. But right now, Westchester in this elimination game already up by 4 against Benjamin Elder in his second inning of work. Here's J.R. Gifford. And the opposing catcher behind the count 1-2.
You've seen players come back from injuries. It's just amazing, without missing any time. I mean, for a guy who was in a sling last night, that's pretty amazing.
Down on strikes. Third strikeout for Benjamin Elder, as Elder retires the first batter he faces here in the second.
Elder trying to find his groove, and he is finding it with a breaking ball there. Every pitch, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball.
So on to the 9-hitter, Zach Miles. Miles, a sophomore, started his career at Lehigh. One of the many Pennsylvania natives, understandably, for Westchester. Golden Rams now 35-14 on the year. Both teams making their 5th appearance in the national championship week. 17 NCAA tournaments for the Golden Rams now. But we mentioned, though, they've won titles in the past. No student athletes remain from that 2017 team. Heck, no head coach remains from that 2017 team. Went on to Delaware, so they go to their alumni base, Mike LaRosa, now in his second year. Last time he suited up for the Golden Rams was 2005. Went on to be a Division III head coach at Widener outside of Philadelphia. And Zach Miles shoots one up the middle with a one-out base hit.
It was Miles who had a big 2-run single yesterday, in that game against Southern New Hampshire when they scored 5 runs in the 8th to win it. And he had that big hit, the only hit of the inning, when they had the 5-hit batsman, so he comes through with a base hit here.
Here's Zach Wright, who singled back in the first. Has already scored once. In the dirt, and that ultimately leads Miles to decide to move down to second. Was not initially going. He had come to a stop, saw that ball was in the dirt in front of the catcher, able to beat the throw down. The 1-0 from Elder. And you've eliminated the traditional threat of a double play to get out of this inning. And most fans are sitting up a little higher up in the shade, but a few are now starting to sneak their way down to the action. Elder fires back to Austin Beck, his second baseman.
There's a construction vehicle out there that's doing some things in the dirt that I've never seen. It's moving the dirt around on a mound and going way up this hill. So while we watch a baseball game, we can get entertained by what they're doing out there with the construction vehicles.
It's the opposite of a batter's eye.
I mean, look at that guy. So he was going up that hill. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but he's going all the way up that hill.
Looks like a sacrifice.
You got to be a good driver.
4 runs gracing the top of the first for Westchester, looking for more here. Zach Miles, the 1-out single, currently stands on second. Elder with 3 strikeouts already. A 1-2 count to right. Back to Elder. Freezes the runner on second. Throws it away. And the Golden Rams will advance. They'll slam up. They'll throw up the stop sign for Miles after initially giving him an inclination they might send him home. And again, more often than not, nobody you'd rather have than Benjamin Elder, but it has been a rough 2 starts. Able to field his position there, but the throw over to first.
Nice, easy comebacker. He does the right thing to check the runner, and then he just winds up and just throws one away, way wide. Sometimes that's the hardest throw for a pitcher.
I'm going to go ahead and ask to see Zach Wright hurdling again. Zach Wright will join Miles on the base paths. How's this?
Yeah, a little hurdle over Walters. We got action in the bullpen for Angelo State. That's right-hander Carson Childers.
Benjamin Elder remains your pitcher. They count that as a visit. Oh, by the way, here's Justin Horn, and now comes the head coach, Kevin Brooks. Coach Brooks, the only head coach this program's ever known, and more often than not, this has been a really good baseball program. Right now, one of just 5 still playing baseball here in Division II, but it has been a less than ideal start. Starting pitchers for Angelo State have not been able to get out of the second inning in their first 2 games, and they're not going to be able to get out of their first 3 as Benjamin Elder's day is done. We'll introduce you to the new Rams arm and remind you what Justin Horn did last time up as we take this one to break. Justin Horn, that 2-run shot back in the first, is due up when you rejoin us here on NCAA.com. As Joe mentioned, it is Carson Childers who makes his 24th appearance. This will be his 14th appearance in relief. A 6.29 ERA, opposing hitters batting .291. Through almost 79 innings, has struck out 83. He's a former high school teammate of current Rams teammate Jordan Williams. They went to Round Rock High School together. They have another former Round Rock High School Dragon and David Dressendorfer redshirting this year. Of course, David's dad, Kirk Dressendorfer, the College Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher out of Texas, 3-time All-American. A lot of recruiting out of Central Texas for Angelo State. As right now, it is Carson Childers.
We saw him last year at the D2 championship. He had quite a year last year. He was 28-1 with a 2.06 ERA last season. That's incredible.
So again, after the 1-out single by Zach Miles, the throwing error allowed Zach Wright to reach. Both of them are in scoring position right now because of that error. Justin Horn, we showed you going to the break. The 2-run home run was one of 2 2-run home runs in the first. Unable to lay off that one, 2-2. And that is Horn's first home run this year for the senior. Could not lay off it.
Yeah, that's about 3/4 of the way around.
No appeal. First base unoccupied with 1 out. Count stays at 2-2. Well, again, for Westchester, their big question coming into this year was depth on the mound. They knew what they had in their first two starters in Fosnot and Sperone, who we've already seen this week. Question lingered after that. Today, the answer appears, at least for now, to be Andrew Cantwell. Got him. Carson Childers comes in. First batter he faces, mows him down.
Childers throws his fastball 88 to 90, throws a splitter, a slider, a cutter, and a changeup.
Here's Joe Kalick, struck out looking against Benjamin Elder last inning. Golden Rams would welcome in an unpredictable elimination game to have a couple more across the plate this inning. Miles and Wright, your base runners. Kalick punches this one out towards right. Kobe Kelton is there. That's out number 3. And Angelo State gets Westchester to strand 2, but not before the Golden Rams chase the starting pitcher. For a third straight game, the Rams can't get out of the second without making a pitching change. But at least they'll bring their bats to the plate in the home half of the second still. Golden Rams of Westchester still playing baseball here in Division II. One of 5 teams right now, a 4-0 lead. Unable to add to it in the second. As now the Rams of Angelo State trying to claw their way back. Tayton Treadaway leads things off out of the 6th spot in this lineup today. Your DH for Coach Kevin Brooks. As Joe's been catching us up on all the genealogy of the Treadaway family. This one fought out towards left, and unfortunately we're not going to have time to recap it this inning.
We'll just quickly tell you that his brother Tanner plays for Oklahoma, so they got 2 players going in the postseason right now.
That's a bonus nugget.
Center fielder, number 20, Thomas.
Gives way to Thomas Kane in the bottom third of the order. Kane, the junior out of Flower Mound, Texas. And so let's see how that shoulder really is. I think both of us were writing down his name in the lineup card or on our scorebook page, off the lineup card, and then all of a sudden we both kind of froze midway through, realizing what that meant, that he was returning. We saw 3 different center fielders for Angelo State yesterday.
He had a broken hand last year, missed time, and this was another injury that he had to come back from.
Shoots this one out to his counterpart, Zach Wright. 2 away.
Shortstop, number 41, Justin Harris.
And Andrew Cantwell getting the start. He's your last starting pitcher left in this ball game, and we're just now here in the bottom of the second. So we are accustomed to patchwork relievers after a short start, but Angelo State thought they had, and understandably thought they had, a pretty good situation today with Elder. But 2 home runs in that first inning and a throwing error in the second. Just a confluence of some bad luck as Angelo State trying to battle back, far from an insurmountable deficit here right now, down by 4. As Justin Harris takes some cuts. Harris this year, 3rd team All Lone Star Conference, out of the Houston area from the Woodlands. Sophomore hitting .328 on the season. 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you have your top 2 starters that just didn't have their stuff. Elder and Munson, neither guys you mentioned, getting into the middle innings. So you got 3 outings from 2 different starters, 3 starts that just didn't work out.
Now, Kyle Mosley on that first game was fantastic in long relief. Chance to go 3 up, 3 down. Zach Miles says he has it. And Zach Miles, a man of his word. So Angelo State goes in order. 6, 7, and 8 hitters. A couple of flyouts and a pop out. And after 2 in this elimination game, they go.
Alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano as we go to the third inning. 4-0, the Golden Rams of Westchester. They bat here in the third with Mike Ferrara fouling it back 0-1. He walked and scored in the first inning. Homered in the game yesterday, his 10th home run of the year, and did that on his 22nd birthday. He'll be followed by Cantwell and Flaherty against Childers. He bounces one foul on the third base side, 0-2.
I did some research. He will not have another birthday this week.
Well, it was a pretty good birthday and a comeback victory for Westchester. They were down 3-0 after 5 innings against Southern New Hampshire, and they were able to rebound. Ferrara got that rally started. I mean, he hit the home run and got them on the board. And then the big inning was the 8th inning yesterday when they had 5 hit batsmen, and they scored 5 runs with 1 hit. Strike 3. So Ferrara goes down on strikes, out number 1. Second strikeout for Childers.
Yeah, Childers trying to get settled in.
Mixed up his pitches in that at-bat.
Childers has faced 3 batters, 2 strikeouts, and a flyout so far.
Here's Luke Cantwell, who will celebrate a birthday tomorrow. As he takes a strike, 0-1. It'll be his 23rd birthday tomorrow. 0 for 1 today, fly to right. Right fielder. He's made a nice play out there in right earlier in this tournament. He skies one in foul territory in right, and that is going to be out of the reach of the first baseman Walters, who gave chase. Well, you think about Angelo State, and last year they made it all the way to the Friday before the national championship. They lost 2 games on that Friday that were 1-run games against eventual champion Wingate. They endured a 3.5-hour rain delay in one of them. And this was after the previous year, 2020. They were 19-3 and ranked number 1 in the nation, and then we had the COVID shutdown. So you got to feel for Angelo State. I mean, they've been able to make it here. They've had some really good seasons recently, but they're on the verge of elimination. They're going to have to try to come back down 4-0 right now. 2-2 to Cantwell.
Well, you've got one baseball program that was started 17 years ago by its current head coach, Kevin Brooks, in San Angelo, Texas. They are up against another team that began back in 1889.
Wow.
Over 1,700 wins. The Rams information staff admit we're missing about a decade worth of records. But that's pretty good. You've got all but one decade for the Golden Rams since 1889.
3-2 now to Cantwell. Well, part of that history is their head coach, Mike LaRosa, who was a player at Westchester from 2002 to 2005 and was a great player. He's actually a part of the Hall of Fame at the school. Now the head coach. He had a .362 career batting average, played second base, played professionally too in the Canadian American Independent League. Now in his second season as the head coach for Westchester. 3-2 to Cantwell, hit in the air center field, hit deep, but back on it is Kane to make the play, 2 down.
Carson Childers has faced 4 batters, has 4 outs to show for it. And you just hope he can give you several innings if you're Angelo State.
2 away, nobody on for Keith Flaherty. That's the big part of the yard right there to try to hit one out. And Cantwell was running hard. Ball 1 to Flaherty, who homered in the first inning. Hit one over the left field wall. That was his 5th home run of the season. Two down, nobody on. Childers deals. Check swing and a foul ball. Or did he not get a piece of it? I don't think he
Yeah,
did, but he did swing at it, and it's
correct.
a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, they appealed down and say it did swing.
Yeah, he didn't get a piece of it, but he went around, and he wasn't happy with himself. So Flaherty with a count of 1-1. Golden Rams leading 4-0. He swings and misses. It's 1-2. So Childers, who had the great year last year, but this year has not been the same. The 1-2. Just missed low. 2-2.
Keith Flaherty again with that second home run back in the first inning.
Number 6 hitter for the Golden Rams. Now has a full count at 3-2. Flaherty, who graduated in 2021, and then 2 weeks before classes this year said, I'm coming back. He declared, I am coming back, and he is captain of this team in his 6th year with the team. And he's glad he came back because Westchester has a chance to do some damage in this tournament, and it looked like they were dead to rights late in that ball game against Southern New Hampshire, but they sent the Penmen home.
Never led in that game. And all of a sudden, 5 hit batters in 1 inning.
3-2, ground ball, shortstop. To his left of field is Justin Harris, and he gets him for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Carson Childers. Middle of the third, 4-0. Westchester leading Angelo State. Bottom of the third inning we go, 4-0 in favor of Westchester. Trip Clark will lead it off for Angelo State. His first time up there. The Rams of Angelo State only 1 hit so far against Cantwell. And that's a strike, 0-1 to Trip Clark, catcher. Clark came into the game here batting at .303, 8 homers and 33 RBIs. Bright sunshine all around here at the USA Baseball Training Complex. Ground ball shortstop quickly to his right to field. Sestawicki got him. 1 up, 1 down for the Rams here in the bottom of the third, as Cantwell has only allowed 1 hit, an infield single, and he's had a walk. That's been it so far against Andrew Cantwell.
All that just continues to build confidence between Andrew and his defense as he has not tried to strike batters out. Been able to get flyouts and ground outs so far.
Now the top of the order, Kobe Kelton, who flied to left his first trip. Kelton looking for his first hit of this tournament in Cary, and he takes inside for a ball, 1-0. 0 for 6 so far. Shortstop Sestawicki playing him to pull. Cantwell deals, and it's high and away. 2-0 the count. Well, we've avoided the rain so far.
Yeah, now it's 8 o'clock.
That's when it's supposed to come in. The 2-0 is low for a ball. 3-0 to Kelton. Austin Beck is waiting on deck.
So if we can get this game in 5 hours from now, should be good.
That wouldn't be bad. Any way we can beat it. The 3-0. Called strike as he was taking all the way. 3-1 to Kobe Kelton.
Today's first game was moved up from 1:30 to 10:30. Of course, we started this game about a half hour after that one. If anybody, Angelo State's on the shortest of rest.
There's a liner to left field, and that's a base hit dropping in front of the left fielder, Kalick. So a one-out single for Kelton, his first hit here in Cary. And Austin Beck will climb in. He had an infield single in the first. The winner of this game gets North Greenville tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And you have to beat the Crusaders twice to get to the championship. Same situation that we're going to experience with Rollins. They have to beat Point Loma twice. But if Point Loma wins, then they would have to be defeated 2 times to deny them of a championship. It's a great position to be in if you win that next game on Thursday. You just need one more to win the national championship.
Yeah, it's a true double elimination tournament.
Pitch inside, 1-0 to Beck.
We see some tournaments where once you get down to 2 teams, you reset the records and you play a best-of-3 game series. Well, if North Greenville and Point Loma get through their next games unscathed, it by de facto looks like a best-of-3 game series, but still simply double elimination.
A pitch is high to Beck. Well, Westchester, they know all about sweeping through. They've done it a couple of times to win national championships in 2012, 2017. This time around, they're going to have to do it the hard way. After they lost their first game to North Greenville, they went into the losers bracket. But they win yesterday, trying to win today, and they're leading right now, 2-1 to Beck. So they have hope that they could do it a different way and try to win their 3rd national championship. They're the only school here in Cary this year that's won a title before. Out of the 8-team field. Throw to first, back in safe is Kelton. It's another one of those games where for Angelo State, I mean, they love to run. They have 176 stolen bases coming into this tournament. And I believe, what did they have, 6 in their first game? So they're over 180, second in the nation. But when you're down 4-0 and you got a lefty on the mound, it kind of takes away from running as Kelton draws another throw.
Well, we see this so often, it just depends on the matchup. And it's feast or famine when it comes to stealing bases.
They had 6 in their first game against Southern New Hampshire. Bunt attempt, first base side. Cantwell pounces on it. Quick flip to first. Nice defensive play by the pitcher. Wow, that was quick. Kelton goes to second base. He was bunting for a base hit there, although they might give him the sacrifice. We'll see. That's a scorer's decision.
I suspect they'll be generous.
Man, he got over there quickly. I mean, that's the opposite side of where he's following through on as a left-handed pitcher. Can't get over there any quicker. Here's Aaron Walters. Walters popped up to third his first trip. Takes way outside, 1-0. Walters 2 for 8 in the tournament. Now they're going to talk it over as Gifford comes out to talk to Cantwell. Beck did get a sacrifice bunt there.
Pretty cool moment earlier this year when Westchester got to play Wilmington at Citizens Bank Park, home of the Phillies. The annual Bill Giles Classic, 12-inning ball game, a victory for the Golden Rams.
That was a great experience.
Joe Kalick with a memorable 2-run home run in that one to tie it up in the top of the 8th.
We also got to play here in Cary early in March against Franklin Pierce, couple games and a couple other teams. So that was really good for Westchester to have the experience to play here for some of these players that they've never seen the facility before, but you play here before you get to the D2 championship during the regular season. That has to help.
Yeah, that familiarity. And remember, in 17 when they won their title, that was not here. That was in Texas.
Yeah.
2012 was the only time they were here, so 10 years ago.
The 2-0 pitch is upstairs, 3-0 to Walters. .43 pitches now for the starter, Cantwell. A left-hander from Broomall, Pennsylvania. That's a called strike, 3-1 to Walters. We want to check. We don't know for sure, but we think that Luke Cantwell, the right fielder, is his brother. But we don't have 100% confirmation on that.
I'd be willing to put it to a vote.
The Cantwell brothers, maybe. And that is outside and low, ball 4. So Walters reaches via the walk. 2 on, 2 outs for the cleanup hitter, Justin Lee, who likes to shake hands with the umpire. I don't think he'll do it the second time around.
They've already met.
He shook hands with the home plate umpire, Trevor Hinton, the first time around. Now he has a conversation with him as we see what happened in that at-bat, the walk. So Lee walked in the first inning. Got favorable calls by Trevor Hinton. Eventually had a conversation with Adam Berg at first base. Maybe he wants to be an umpire eventually.
Could have used him yesterday. Unfortunately, he was in his own ball game.
Lee is a guy who really was an underdog. You think about, he was projected as the number 6 outfielder on this Angelo State team, but just kept hitting. I mean, he didn't even make the travel roster last year to Cary, so he is very excited just to be here. Guy's been hitting over 400, 432 coming into the game. 2 on, 2 outs. Trying to get Angelo State on the board here in the third inning.
Well, remember, they threatened back in the first to answer that 4-run inning from Westchester with 2 of their own, only to strand 2. Andrew Cantwell had a perfect second inning, and here we are in the third, a little bumpier ride again. He's just hoping to eat up as many innings as possible while making that 4-run lead last.
Now it's taken a while for this to get going again, as Cantwell has taken his time. I'm not sure, there was something recorded here. I don't know if there was a warning.
May have been a delay, yeah.
Yeah, but now we're going to get a conversation with Gifford going out there.
Think about all the different ways that signals are sent to pitchers and catchers these days. Sometimes that process can take a little too long to get on the same page.
5'10" lefty, Cantwell. I think he's the shortest pitcher we've seen out there so far. Kelton singled, he's at second. Walters walked, he's at first. And now we're going to have Coach LaRosa.
I think he's asking, why are you putting my pitcher's name in your book?
Mike LaRosa wants an explanation here.
Mike LaRosa, who played for Westchester before Angelo State was ever even a baseball program.
And now he's going to ask for another umpire to come in as Scott Wyckoff, the second base umpire, comes in. And I'm not sure what's going on. This is where we start to guess what's happening out there.
The real question is, will they turn off the music before the game resumes?
Like to be a fly on the wall there and hear that conversation. We have no idea.
Just wants clarification why he saw likely his pitcher's name written into the book.
Right.
We assume related to a delay. And Kevin Brooks is back to twirling the whistle over at third base, enjoying this moment.
All right, 2 on, 2 outs, pitch to Lee. Outside, 1-0. Boy, that took a long time for that first pitch to come in.
I say whistle. It's probably more of a stopwatch that he's twirling.
Cantwell trying to protect a 4-0 lead, and he deals in there for a strike above the belt. 1-1 the count.
Little 83-mile-per-hour offering.
You never know when this team could explode for Angelo State. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. He was out in front of it. 1-2. They lost their first game in the Super Regional to potent Colorado Mesa, but Angelo State came back, won the next two games by a combined score of 28-9. So they can lose a game and then all of a sudden put up a bunch of runs. Right now trailing 4-0. The 1-2 to Lee, fouled back. And they had to be pretty down after losing 18-3 last night. I mean, that's just disappointing.
You think it's a good thing for them they actually had such a quick turnaround?
I think so, yeah.
Obviously, you have to go to sleep thinking about it, but didn't get to spend much of today thinking about it.
And you just feel beaten in a game like that. Beaten down. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cantwell got him on a pitch that was down. He chased it. Lee strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 4 left on for the Rams. The Golden Rams lead it. Bright, sunny day here. That umbrella could serve 2 purposes. The sun now and maybe some rain later. Hopefully not while this game is going on. And that Golden Rams fan is happy that Westchester's out in front 4-0 as we go to the 4th inning.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a cart off the field real quick as it.
I don't know, there's a cart driving on the warning track right now.
Yeah.
We got a ball game going on.
Whatever they're doing, it's the right thing. They've done a fantastic job always, as that's just the nearest off-ramp.
Right.
Look, whatever Google Maps tells you to do, you do.
That's exactly right. It doesn't matter what's happening.
Are you sure I'm supposed to come through? This doesn't look like a public street.
Sean Sestawicki to lead it off for Westchester. 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. He takes a ball 1-0. The shortstop for the Golden Rams had a couple of hits yesterday in that wild and crazy 7-3 win for Westchester over Southern New Hampshire. That's a game that sticks with you. You just never forget a game like that. Pop up. Clark coming back. Does he have room? He dropped it. And that was a tough one because it was starting to fade away from him by that on-deck circle, and it dropped. Now, I don't know if they'll give him an error or not.
No.
I don't think so.
You never take that one for granted.
I mean, if he's camped under it and he drops it, you can give him an error. But this one, he wasn't camped. So it's 1-1 to Sestawicki, the number 7 hitter. And he takes high for a ball. 2-1.
See if Carson Childers can be the guy who eats up lots of innings for Angelo State.
Walter's coming over, and he runs out of real estate.
Need to talk to the architect here.
Sestawicki's got 9 lives up there. So, count of 2-2 to Sestawicki. Well, I think yesterday it was kind of like a gifted win for Westchester with the 5-hit batsman in 1 inning and 5 runs with 1 hit. Today, a little bit different. Sestawicki takes a ball 3-2. I mean, they hit 2 home runs in the first inning. They weren't getting any free passes. Horn hit a 2-run shot. Flaherty a 2-run shot. That's why it's 4-0. 3-2 now to Sestawicki. Childers deals. Ball 4. That's the first walk for Childers, and Sestawicki is a leadoff man aboard.
Second time today, Westchester has been able to get the leadoff man on. Happened back in the first inning. Zach Wright with the single, followed by Justin Horn's home run. See what J.R. Gifford can do here.
And now the umpires are coming together. And I'm not sure what this one's about. Kind of a quirky game here with the umpires. I mean, what could they possibly be talking about? This is where we need communication. We need them to have a microphone and just say, okay, we're talking about this. Because we have no idea. At least I don't.
I'm just going to leave you hanging.
I mean, this is a heavy-duty conversation. It's something important.
We just had a walk of Sestwicky.
Yeah, nothing unusual just happened. But everything's squared away now. J.R. Gifford comes up. He struck out in the second. 0 for 1. The Westchester catcher. Came in batting at 248. Sestawicki's got his lead at first base. Walters holding him. Here's the pitch. Big breaking ball down and away. 1-0. Generally, the pitcher who throws a splitter like Childers does, he'll show the split grip and then he'll adjust it in his glove there. Pitch down in the dirt. You really have to have a good feel for that splitter to throw it for strikes. Seems like a pitch that can come and go for you, too. That's high for a ball. 3-0.
Just got done walking Sean Sestwicky. And we briefly had pitching coach coming out to talk and then thought better of it. See if he waits until after this hitter.
The 3-0. Ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Gifford. 2 men on walks, and now we are going to see the pitching coach for Angelo State. That's 3 walks now in the game, 2 of them for Childers.
Entire infield is going to join the chat on the bump. Back-to-back walks.
That's the splitter. The first one was a breaking, but a curveball. And then he went fastball, missed. So he's trying everything, throwing everything but the kitchen sink. I think that was another splitter that just missed. So he doesn't seem to have the feel for it. And now here come the umpires again for another conversation. More chat. And Coach Brooks right now, Kevin Brooks is just going, what are you guys doing out there? He's saying, you know, my pitcher's waiting to pitch.
He's about to get an explanation.
That's something to do with a dugout for Angelo State, apparently. And I'm not sure what it is.
Is something shiny?
Maybe. But they weren't talking to Angelo State about it. And now they have decided to go ahead and do that. Wow. It's mysterious. All right, here comes Zach Miles to get us back on track. Miles singled to center in the second inning. 1 for 1. He's got 3 hits in his last 4 at-bats going back to yesterday, scoring around the bunt and bluffed to second. That big 2-run single yesterday in the 8th inning. It's part of the 5-run inning. By the way, we've been talking a lot about the 5-hit batsman. That was by 3 different pitchers. That's the thing that was really kind of amazing about it. Miles squares to bunt. They come in at first base. There's a called strike as Walters was charging. The third baseman, Williams, was hanging on over at third base. The place to bunt it is third base because you want Williams to field it if you got the 2 men on. So you really want to bunt over there towards third. He is showing bunt again. Williams not charging at third. And it gets by the catcher, Clark, so these runners will move up anyway on the wild pitch.
Yeah, that's an additional benefit from squaring around a bunt. You keep that bat right in the sight line of the catcher. And you don't need to give yourself up. Now you can still square around here. But both runners advance.
Count is 1-1 to Miles. So Childers has been wild in this inning. A couple of walks, now a wild pitch. And you got two men in scoring position as Westchester tries to break this game wide open. Zach Wright on deck at the top of the order. The middle infielders play back. They're willing to give up a run here. Or even with the bags at the corner of the infield. Corners of the infield, and that's a ball, 2-1.
So we've yet to see a ball batted into play here in the fourth inning. A couple of walks, and now two runners in scoring position.
2-1 to Miles. The pitch fouled back. It goes to 2-2 now. So Miles could pick up an RBI just by grounding one to one of the middle infielders. Those infielders at the corners might have a chance at a play at the plate since they're playing even with the bags. Now the 2-2 to Miles. Here it is. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Clark. Childers is really making Clark work back there. Full count.
See that comms device being worn by Trip Clark for Angelo State. We've seen signs relayed all sorts of manners throughout this week for different teams.
Payoff pitch to Miles. Swinging a foul back. It remains 3-2.
We've seen sometimes both a pitcher and a catcher looking back into the dugout every single pitch.
Nobody out, and runners at second and third. The 3-2 to Miles. Breaking ball fouled back. He stays alive. Miles doing a good job. Zach Miles, the second baseman for Westchester, out of Hatfield, Pennsylvania, the sophomore, trying to come through here. Really put this game seemingly out of reach, although I never want to say that with Angelo State's bats, but they would feel a lot more comfortable with another base hit here. 3-2 is high, ball four, check swing. Did he go? No, he didn't, says Adam Berg, the first base umpire on the appeal. Bases loaded on 3 walks by Childers, and they have action in the bullpen for Angelo State.
This is not the first time in the last day and a half that Westchester's had 3 straight batters walked.
Surprising to see the bottom 3 walked.
We saw the top 3 walked in the first inning yesterday against Southern New Hampshire. Now, they would not score that inning, though that did not cost them moving on to today.
Now Zach Wright, 1 for 2. Right, an infield single and reached on an error by the pitcher, the starter Elder, who threw wildly to first base in the second inning. Bases loaded. Ball 1.
All right, does Zach Wright take that bat off his back shoulder until he has seen a strike?
1 for 2 today. Had a hit yesterday. Been on the bases a lot. Wright fouls it back. He was swinging away there. 1-1.
Yep, that answers my question.
Yeah.
In Angelo State, as you pointed out earlier, double play depth, they would concede a run if they could get 2.
Wright, yesterday and today, has been on base 4 out of 5 times yesterday and both times today. So 6 out of 7 plate appearances, he's been on base. That's acting like a leadoff man. Bouncing ball hit to the right side. Beck flips to second, 1. Harris to first. And he did not get rid of it.
Well,
And everybody's safe because he dropped it.
yeah, they're not even giving him the glove-to-hand transition.
A run scores to make it 5-0.
And Coach Brooks wants to ask at least, why not give us the out and say that that's going from glove to hand? But they're saying no. That was not during the transition, but just straight up dropped it.
Well, that was going to be a run no matter what. But, man, this should have been a double play. Beck to Harris, the little flip, and he just drops it in the exchange.
Yeah, he never had it.
So he never had the ball with his foot on the bag. He just didn't even have it at all. And that's a good call by the second base umpire, Scott Wyckoff, although he's going to get an earful here from Coach Kevin Brooks.
There was never a ball to even take out of the glove. Kevin Brooks has already used one challenge unsuccessfully.
I don't think he's going to challenge this. He's just trying to get his money's worth out there. His team is not playing good baseball right now.
And he does not have a player insist that he had it.
I mean, 3 walks and then an error on a double play ball. They get nobody.
That was your first ball batted into play this inning.
Second error of the game for Angelo State. So 5-0 as a run came across. I was going to score no matter what with nobody out. But still nobody out, and the base is still loaded. Gifford, Miles, and Wright on base. And here's Horn, who homered in the first, 1 for 2, hit a 2-run homer. Another chance to drive in runs. He takes a strike from Childers, 0-1. Horn hit his first home run of the season in the first inning. Horn takes, and it's outside, 1-1.
Carson Childers, first man out of the bullpen for Angelo State, came in with 1 out recorded in the second inning. Angelo State hasn't had a single pitcher make it out of the second inning this week.
That's in the dirt, and it gets behind Clark. Here comes the runner from third, Gifford. He scores. The other runners move up. 6-0 Westchester. Another wild pitch. That's 2 of them in this inning. So 3 walks, 2 wild pitches, an error on a double play ball, and Kevin Brooks has come out to the mound. And he's got to be aggravated with his team. He's seen enough from Childers. He'll make the pitching change. 6-0 Westchester in the 4th. Well, we get our first look at right-hander Jack Brindley, the freshman from Georgetown, Texas. And he'll become the 3rd pitcher of this game for Angelo State after Carson Childers. Childers goes 1 2/3 and gives up 2 runs.
Brindley started at Temple Junior College in Texas. He's out of Georgetown, Texas. So, again, a little pipeline that current assistant coach Adam Foster's developed into Central Texas.
And he has struggled in his freshman year, an 8.10 ERA and 14 relief appearances, 0-0 record. Given up 24 hits in 16 2/3 innings, 16 runs, 15 earned. Walked 4, struck out 16. Opponents are batting .348 against him. So Brindley coming into a spot with 2 men in scoring position here and nobody out. The first 4 men reaching on 3 walks and an error.
Again, already a 2-1 count to Justin Horn.
Yep, mid-count pitching change. So unfortunately for the Rams of Angelo State, they've kind of carried over from what was happening yesterday into today. Now the infield comes in because Angelo State knows it can ill afford to give up any more runs at this point. Still early in the game, but down 6-0 doesn't feel great. Horn at the plate. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, and now it's 2-2.
And this inning began with 3 walks, followed by an error on the only ball that's been batted into play. Led to already 2 runs scoring here in the 4th. Brindley likely told, throw strikes.
That's fouled back. Remains 2-2. Man, the pitching has just been rough for Angelo State in this tournament.
Entire infield is playing in. They don't believe they can allow any more runs. And, of course, no traditional double play to be had. They thought they had one, only to come away empty-handed. Literally.
Miles at third, right at second. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit into center field, right through the drawn-in infield. One run is in. Here comes right. The throw from center from Kane is too late. Cut off. A 2-run single for Justin Horn, who has 4 RBIs in this game. And now it is 8-0 Westchester.
Deja vu for Angelo State. Meanwhile, for Westchester, this is a dream start. Already having survived one elimination game yesterday.
Left
Now Joe
fielder, Joe Kalick.
Kalick 0 for 2, struck out, fly to right. I mean, all of this damage with your 3, 4, and 5 hitters not getting a hit in this game, that shows you that Westchester is having a complete team effort. Bunt attempt, fouled back. And that's a good sign for a team when your other hitters are contributing, because sooner or later you would think 3, 4, and 5, those guys might come through. So Kalick was bunting there. He struck out looking in the first, fly to right in the second. 8 runs on 5 hits. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Again, all 3 of those batters who walked to lead off this inning have scored.
It's kind of like last night or yesterday when we saw 5 runs on 1 hit in the 8th inning. Pitch in the dirt. Runner takes off for second. Clark throws the second too high. So getting into second on another wild pitch is Horn.
Yeah, at some point, sometimes the best throw is just put it in your back pocket.
3 wild pitches by 2 different pitchers here in the 4th. So Westchester, they know how to make you hit them with hit by pitches, and they know how to make you throw wild pitches. Somehow. The 1-2. Hit in the air, center field, cranked out there. Kane on the run. Hauls it in. Going back to second base is Horn. And that is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, the priority for Horn was to score, so he went halfway, hoping that would not be caught, but it looked like it was unlikely that wasn't going to be caught. He could easily be standing at third right now.
Yeah, he should have tagged up for sure. I mean, that to me, it's pretty obvious that's a catchable ball deep in center. He's going to just catch it, so you tag up and go to third. So Horn did not do that. Instead, he's still at second. Here's Mike Ferrara, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. He has struck out. Cleanup hitter. And he takes in the dirt, another wild pitch. Horn goes to third base.
Yeah, he gets the bag anyways.
It's 1 wild pitch after another. That's 4 of them in this inning. And 5 in the game. Man.
And there's still only 1 out this inning. This is the 7th batter here in the 4th, as Westchester has already doubled its lead. Like North Greenville, we saw them get stronger and stronger with a 4-run inning, 5-run inning, and a 6-run inning.
One ball, 1 strike to Ferrara. Infield in and a runner at third. Two and one. Ferrara trying to come through here, and he swings and fouls it back. And it is 2-2 to the cleanup hitter. Ferrara has had a great season. Batting average of .362. 10 home runs. Waiting for Brindley, and it's grounded foul off the hand of the third base coach and the head coach, Mike LaRosa.
How do you think the official score is going to Rule that.
Former second baseman. Didn't make the play there.
And already in the Westchester Hall of Fame as a player.
2-2 to Ferrara. Fisted into center field. That's a base hit. In to score from third is Horn. Ferrara joins the RBI parade, and it's 9-0 Westchester. Man, 4 in the first, 5 here in the fourth. And all of those free passes came back to haunt Angelo State. The 3 walks, the error. And now base hits are starting to come for Westchester, and the 8th man to bat in the inning is Luke Cantwell. 0 for 2, fly to right, fly to center. He skies one into shallow center. Kane charging in, dives on that tough shoulder, didn't catch it. That shoulder was banged up yesterday, and he still was out there sliding and diving, and he's okay, but he didn't catch it. Runner stops at second, Ferrara, and Cantwell has a base hit.
Great effort. You can imagine if he's a little more tentative this time, and they do rule he traps this ball, and that's the right call. And now his attempt to sell it. Negative.
I mean, he's kind of the bionic man. He's got an entire body that's very tough to be able to come through an injury last night. Here's Keith Flaherty. He homered in the first inning, a 2-run shot, and he has grounded a short 9th man to hit in this inning. Now you got 3 hits in the inning. They're starting to pile up the hits. 2 on, still only 1 out. As Westchester aims to bat around here. And Angelo State had a chance to turn a double play earlier, but they made an error. That's popped up in foul territory. Clark coming back, throws away the mask, and runs out of real estate.
That one got over the mesh. Yeah, still looking for just that second out. Local Little Leaguer.
Good job, Sullivan.
Where do I get a Sullivan uniform? You see the speed with which he pursued that one?
Sully. Ferrara at second, Cantwell at first, 1 out. 1-1 to Flaherty, the pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. 9 runs, 7 hits, and an error for Westchester. No runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for Angelo State.
Yeah, Jack Brenly again in relief of Carson Childers in the midst of this inning. Now facing his 5th batter, 3 singles. 3 runs have come home.
Brinley dealing to Flaherty. Ground ball foul on the third base side. It remains 1-2.
Brenly has secured the only out so far this inning, the fly out to center.
This will be the 22nd pitch for the young right-hander since coming in. 97 pitches coming into this at-bat, so let's add on 4 more. So 101 pitches for Angelo State pitchers, and we're only in the 4th. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, I think the scoreboard reflects that. It has been a tough 24 hours.
Yeah, no doubt.
For a team with 51 wins on the year.
1-2 to Flaherty, the pitch. Line drive, base hit down the right field line. Coming around third, Ferrara being waved. He scores. It's played out there by Kelton. Getting to third, being held up, is Cantwell. Pulling into second with an RBI double is Flaherty, his 3rd RBI of the game. 10-0 Westchester.
Well, I'm following Luke Cantwell the whole time here because he's got going the wrong direction on the base paths. And I still thought there was a chance he was going to be waved home to score after all that, but does slam on the brakes at third.
And here comes Coach Brooks again wearing out a path from the dugout to the mound. He's going to make another pitching change. So he's going to go with his 4th pitcher of the game here this afternoon. A 6-run inning right now, and Westchester. Well, now we get to see our 4th pitcher of the game for Angelo State, And it is a right-hander, Price Simmering, 6'4", 225, a junior from Dripping Springs, Texas.
Yeah, former Dripping Springs High Tiger by way of Temple Junior College, now in his junior year with Angelo State. As Westchester has already batted through the lineup. Remember, this inning began with 3 straight walks. Well, we're now back to the first of those free passes. And Sean says to Icky.
And I would say the Westchester offense is not simmering. It's boiling at this point, up 10-0. Simmering 6.00 ERA, 27 innings, 30 hits allowed. Walked 8, struck out 28 in his 27 innings.
Angelo State infield remains with their toes just about on the infield grass. Priority is to come home. No runner on first.
They bat around. Sestawicki led off this inning by walking way back when. And here he's up there again. He walked and scored. He was the first of 3 straight batters to walk against Childers to start this inning.
It was a 4-0 ball game last time he was at the plate.
Now it's 10-0, and he swings and misses with a big rip, 1-1. The only out was a fly ball to center by Kalick. That's been it. Everybody else getting on with walks and error, hits. Tons of wild pitches, 4 of them in this inning. 5 in the game now. Pitch in the dirt, 2-1. Although officially they only have 4 wild pitches, so maybe one of those wild pitches was scored as a pass ball, I'm guessing. Still. Sestawicki grounds one up the middle, and the shortstop flagging it. Harris throws to first in time, holding the runner at third. He was playing in. He had to get to that quickly, and he did. That was really a good play by Harris, and that's 2 down.
Yeah, Justin Harris is still playing baseball.
Really nice play.
All out for that one.
I mean, when you're playing in, you got to move quickly to your left, and he flagged it.
Look to see if he had anything.
Slid to a stop. Now J.R. Gifford, who has struck out, walked, and scored. The Westchester catcher getting a long break before he has to squat behind the plate again. Called strike 0-1.
And Trip Clark with that IFB, that comms device in his right ear.
11th batter to hit in this frame. 1-1 the count. So for Angelo State, they have been outscored 28-3 last night and today. Ouch.
The nature of this tournament, 8 of the top teams in the country all collide, and ultimately, as great as your season has been, something has to give.
And here's another thing. Westchester, remember they were down 3-0? They're on a 17-0 run. Because remember, they scored the last 7 runs against Southern New Hampshire, and they've scored 10 here, so.
Yeah, but they've suffered a drought. They haven't been hit by a pitch since back in the first inning.
Yeah, true. 1-2. Bouncing ball hit foul on the third base side.
Want to brag again. It's our 5th day on this diamond, and the crew here just does a fantastic job. Already our 2nd game of the day here. It's not a single time that we have thought that a play was affected by the condition of the field.
The field is just beautiful, yeah.
As for the condition of the construction zone beyond the field,
they're working on it.
A little dicier.
Strike 3 called. Finally, the inning is over. That pitch on the inside corner. But Westchester, 6 runs. They take advantage of 3 walks. There was an error. And they were able to put up 4 hits. Well, it was a long time in the dugout for Andrew Cantwell, and he's coming back out there with a bigger lead. It has swelled to 10-0 for Westchester as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
So again, Westchester can just continue to help themselves going into tomorrow, presuming they don't squander this lead today. By growing this lead in theory, you're buying more innings for Andrew Cantwell's. His leash shouldn't be getting any shorter just because there's a couple of base runners, and that means he can save the rest of his pitching peers for what they would need to be 2 games against North Greenville. And then, of course, after that would be a national championship appearance.
Jordan Williams leading off for Angelo State. 0 for 1 struck out. Well, when you score 10 runs, sometimes it gets lost how good the pitching has been, but really good today with Cantwell. I mean, Westchester, you think about it, when they lost their first game against North Greenville, they held a team that really can hit the ball well in North Greenville to only 3 runs. It was a tight 3-1 game.
Those years Westchester won the national title, they went 4-0 to win the title in 12 and 17, but if they win this game, they may still need to win 4 games starting tomorrow.
There's a pop-up in the right field. The second baseman, Miles, racing out there. It drops in between him and Cantwell. So Williams gets a base hit out of that. Yeah, they'd have to beat North Greenville twice, and then there's the possibility that they would have to beat Point Loma twice if Point Loma gets by Rollins.
Yeah, they would be rooting for Rollins to win at least once against Point Loma, and then after that, probably not care which of those 2 teams moved on. But if you are coming out of the elimination bracket on one side, you do not want an unscathed team coming out of the other half.
So let me see if I get that straight. They'd have to win 6 in a row? Because they started out with a loss.
Starting yesterday.
Right. Started out with a loss. Then they won yesterday. They're trying to win today, and they're in good shape right now. That's 2.
They'd play 7 games, needing to win 6 in a row, unlike the years past when they took the shortcut of winning 4 ball games.
But it's possible. We don't know that they need to win 6 in a row because we don't know about Point Loma. But
the fewest would be 5.
Right. It's tough. But
they're helping themselves right here.
A lot of these teams are capable of it.
They've only thrown 1 pitcher.
Want to know your count to Tainton Treadaway, who flied to left his first trip. Runner first, nobody out. 2-0. There's still a lot of innings left in this game. That's fouled straight back. 2-1 the count.
I know both these communities have great fan bases, a lot of which couldn't make its way out here during the work week. I know they appreciate the watch parties going on and the support they've had throughout the year. And again, for both these programs, they're both making it to this final stage for a 5th time in program history. Golden Rams, the only team entering this week that's won a title, having won 2. Angelo State, such a young program that has already made this an expectation each year.
And Coach Kevin Brooks has done such a great job getting here 2 times in a row. Almost won it last year. They were so close.
Well, they were the only team to beat the team that won it.
And winning their first game. So things were looking pretty good when they beat Southern New Hampshire. Then they ran into that powerhouse in North Greenville. Fly ball, left center field. Kalick and Wright converging, and it'll be Kalick, the left fielder. 1 away. Now Thomas Kane, who's been a medical marvel after having a sling last night, coming back to play today. 0 for 1 fly to center. He went into a sliding, diving effort in the last inning and still held up.
Yeah, you wonder if he catches that ball if not for yesterday's events. You appreciate the effort.
Called strike. Yeah, I mean, he was hurting pretty bad last night after he made that diving effort. Didn't get up for a while, and then they took him out of the game. You wondered if he had separated his shoulder or something like that, but whatever it wasn't that bad for him to come back. Base hit left field for Kane. Williams stops at second, 2 on, 1 out for Justin Harris.
Nice effort by Sestuicki over there at short. Tries to lay out for it, but ultimately can't keep it in the infield.
Now Harris, who popped up to second his first trip. Harris, the number 8 hitter for Angelo State. Cantwell kicks and deals, swing and a miss. 0-1. Cantwell now has given up 4 hits, 2 in this inning. Harris, a .328 batting average coming in. .605 slugging percentage. Pretty good for a guy batting number 8. Got 6 homers, 11 doubles, 2 triples. Bluffs a bunt and takes for a ball 1-1. I don't know why you'd be bunting unless you're so confident you're going to get a base hit. You don't want to give up any outs when you're down 10-0.
Well, we've already seen a couple of balls just narrowly elude the defenders for Westchester.
He squares the bunt, pops it up behind home plate. No play for Gifford. Didn't locate it right away, but it was too far away anyway. So now you give up a strike there. It's 1-2.
And unlikely to see him square around again.
I mean, it's a good idea when you're down maybe 2-0, but 10-0, I don't know. Cantwell gets the sign from Gifford, ready to go here on 1-2 to Harris. Here it is. Up and away, 2-2. Jordan Williams started with a single to right. Kane singled into center field, or left field, I should say. And you got 2 on with 1 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Harris to pitch. In the dirt, or actually just inside. And it's 3-2. Trip Clark on deck.
Angelo State's already matched the 2 hits they had through the first 3 innings with the 2 singles here in the 4th. Will it lead to something on the scoreboard?
I think the thing you notice about Angelo State is they don't really care about the scoreboard. Strike 3 called. Harris strikes out looking for out number 2. 3rd strikeout for Cantwell. What I mean by that is that they're willing to steal bases. We saw that yesterday. Yep. They're willing to bunt. They're willing to do all the things that they would normally do in a game, even if they're down big.
They're just staying within themselves and trusting the process.
Here is Trip Clark, 0 for 1, grounded to short. Strike called to Clark, 0-1. Clark had to leave last night's game. Ground ball, base hit into left field. Williams comes around third, and he's being waved home. The throw by Kalick, cut off, and Jordan Williams scores the first run of the game for Angelo State. RBI single for Trip Clark.
Bottom half of the lineup comes through. 3 base hits here in the 4th inning, plating their first run with Williams crossing the plate. Now handing it over to the top of the order.
Found that hole a couple times in this inning. Angelo State has. Now Kobe Kelton at the top of the order, 1 for 2, a single, with 2 on, 2 outs. So there goes the shutout. Kane at second, Clark at first. Cantwell has thrown 71 pitches. There's a strike. We have seen pitchers throw a ton of pitches. Nobody's had an easy time, it seems like.
Well, remember, Cantwell averages fewer than 2 innings per appearance. So he has done his team a great service.
Ground ball to second base. Flipping it to second is Miles, getting to Sestawicki. They get the force play on Clark, and the inning is over. But a run scores, 3 base hits, and at the end of alongside Lincoln Rose, I'm Joe Castellano. Things are looking great right now for Westchester with a 9-run lead going to the 5th inning as they bat, and Miles takes a ball 1-0 facing Simmering. Zach Miles, 1 for 1, a single, a walk, a run scored today, and he's got 3 hits in his last 4 official at-bats. He's come up pretty big for Westchester out of that number 9 spot in the order. Pops it up, right side of the infield. Austin Beck is there. 1 away.
And Westchester brought 12 to make it 11 to the plate last inning. Again, with those 3 walks, they would score 6. Angelo State only able to pull 1 back in the bottom half of the 4th. Let's see if the Rams can quickly get through this inning with Simmering on the mound.
Well, Westchester, they have had some big frames lately. They had the 5-run 8th yesterday, the 4-run 1st in this game, and then the 6-run 4th. So that's 3 huge innings for them offensively. And taking advantage of some things for sure. As Zach Wright grounds 1 to second base. An easy roller for Beck. 2 up, 2 down on a couple of pitches by Simmering.
They welcome it. They're due.
Well, actually 3 pitches total, but yeah.
Due to have a few things go their way.
They are. I mean, for the Golden Rams, I mean, we talked about the hit by pitches yesterday, but this game, they've taken advantage of walks and wild pitches. As Horn is up there, he's had a big game. 2 for 3, home run, single, 4 RBIs.
Yeah, it's the first time he's come up to the plate with nobody on.
Simmering deals, and it's fouled at the plate. 0-2.
10 runs on 8 hits for Westchester, while Angelo State just had 2 hits before last inning. Found 1 run on 3 hits in that inning alone. Look as this one hits him on the outside of the ankle.
Horn, the DH. Graduate student from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, waiting. Simmering deals. Ooh, that just missed outside. Simmering wanted that strike. Instead, it's 1-2. The big right-hander, the 4th pitcher for Angelo State today. And the first 3 all gave up runs. That's fouled back. Remains 1-2. Elder gave up 4 all earned. Childers gave up 4, 3 earned. Brindley gave up 2, all earned. Simmering's trying to be the best pitcher of the day. Here comes the 1-2 to Horn. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a high heater. And that is a 1-2-3 inning. The first time that we see that in a little while. Well, they had it in the 3rd, but those big innings loom large for Westchester. We go to the bottom of the fans enjoying nice weather for now here in Cary, North Carolina. Meanwhile, Angelo State trying to figure out a way to make a comeback from down 9 now. They were down 10-0. And Austin Beck will lead it off for the Rams. 2, 3, and 4 in the order, going up against Andrew Cantwell, who started and has given up 5 hits so far. There's a floater in the right center, base hit for Beck. His second hit of the game, he's 2 for 3. And all of a sudden, the Rams are starting to get their offense clicking a little bit.
4 hits these last 2 innings. They need to be able to put a crooked number on that scoreboard.
Wind is swirling around right now. It's starting to blow out towards left field a little bit as Aaron Walters climbs in 0 for 1 with a walk. Popped up to third base. That was the 6th hit overall for Angelo State. Beck has a pretty big lead. He's a big base stealer, 33 steals this season and 40 attempts. Left-hander on the mound throws over, back in safe. If that's the best move for Cantwell, then you don't mind it as a base stealer. And again, Angelo State will not get out of its game as Beck takes a bigger lead. That's a huge lead over there, but breaking ball outside, 1-0.
Well, on that motion to the plate, he was spinning, scurrying back to the bag. You've noted how some of our great base runners actually don't get much of a lead.
Yeah, you don't want to be going back towards the bag if you're thinking about stealing. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Well, it is the battle of two teams that steal a lot of bases because Angelo State came into this tournament second in the nation in steals and Westchester right behind them in stolen bases. But it's not been a stolen base kind of game. There's another throw to first. When it's 10-1, generally it isn't. It is exciting to see teams like this here at the D2 Championship because many wondered if the stolen base was a lost art in baseball. You weren't seeing it as much in the major leagues. There goes the runner. Pitch outside, throw to second by Gifford. Safe as
he came off
whoa,
the bag.
He came off the bag. The ball was not caught.
His entire body.
Sestawicki did not catch that, but he came up with it later and put the tag on Beck for the out.
Slid through the bag, and his entire body then eclipsed the bag. He had such a tremendous jump, but could not slow down that speed.
Well, actually, he did catch the ball, but there's your tag. I thought he bobbled it. He caught it on the one bounce, but it was all about that slide past the bag to get that out.
Yeah, if these bases are 95 feet apart, he's safe.
So there is a reason to not be stealing a base or trying to steal a base when you're down 10-1. There's a grounder to first. And that'll be a 3 unassisted on Walters for out number 2. You just don't want to give away outs like that when you're down by 9 runs. But, you know, in his defense, he did have the stolen base. He had the bag, but he just went past it.
Had no way to slam on the brakes.
Cantwell stretching out a little bit.
Yeah. He's anticipating being in there for a while. Got a 9-run lead to work with. He would love to go as close to the distance as possible. That may not be feasible, but Westchester's going to need a lot of innings thrown from this staff moving forward.
Lee takes a strike, 0-1.
If they have a chance at competing for a third national title.
Cantwell up to 79 pitches now. He deals, and a swing and a miss, 0-2. Smart play by Sestawicki to keep the tag down after the runner slid past, because some shortstops might have given up on the play.
Well, he didn't even have the tag applied until after.
Until after, yeah. Keep the glove there after. That's a base hit into right for Lee.
It was just such an easily stolen base. Again, there was no tag initially to even be made.
So Lee with the base hit there with 2 down. He's on at first for Jordan Williams, who's 1 for 2, a single in the 4th. Westchester 4 in the first, 6 in the 4th, leading at 10-1. Lee jumps off to his lead at first base. And Williams takes a strike. Williams batting in the 5-hole. Drove in a couple yesterday and had picked up 5 RBIs for Angelo State in the first couple of games. 1-1 the count. Ferrara holding the runner Lee at first base. Bluffing and a throw over to first. I don't know how many games that you see where it's 10-1, but you're seeing a lot of throws to first base. Ground ball, left side, diving stop by Flaherty at third, fires to second and gets the force, and the inning is over. Nice play by Flaherty. No runs, 2 hits, a caught stealing play, 1 left. The end of 5, 10-1, Westchester leading. Price simmering out there again after he came into this ball game. He is working into the 6th inning now. Came in this ball game in the 4th inning.
He's done a nice job.
And that is when Westchester had 11 men come to the plate. Here they are with Joe Kalick leading off. 0 for 3, struck out, fly to right, fly to center. An elimination game, and Westchester up 10-1, beginning the 6th inning. Kalick followed by Ferrara and Cantwell. Luke Cantwell, that is. That is fouled out of play on the right side. Two and 1 the count to Kalick. So simmering an inning and 2/3 scoreless and hitless. Ground ball third base, gobbled up by Williams. The long throw to first got him. 1 away, so finally you got a pitcher who has settled in, simmering, retired the side in order in the 5th.
Well, he's settled in. That defense behind him has been able to execute on the fundamentals. It's all come together. It's just those bats still not producing.
He's retired all 6 that he has faced with a couple of strikeouts. And now Mike Ferrara, who was 1 for 2 an RBI single, a walk and a run scored, and he takes a strike 0-1. The Golden Rams leading the Rams by 9. Swing and a miss, just waved at that breaking ball, 0-2. Well, maybe Price simmering has a future. Get more opportunities, the junior. More opportunities next year, probably. Strike 3 call. Just poured that one in there. 2 down on the 3rd strikeout for simmering. Big right-hander. Now Luke Cantwell. 1 for 3, a single in the 4th inning. Here's the first pitch to Luke. He skies it to left, way up in the air. Lee settling under it. And a 1-2-3 inning again for simmering. So he's done a great job retiring all 8 of the batters that he has faced since he came in the 4th. Middle of the 6th inning. Westchester 10, Angelo State 1. Another flag will drop here on Elimination Wednesday. We've already seen one team go home, Southern Arkansas. And right now, Westchester in good shape to keep their flag flying as they lead it 10-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Tate and Treadaway to lead it off for Angelo State as they try to lead a big comeback. Andrew Cantwell has been pretty good so far, though, only giving up the 1 run. They've started to hit him a little better. There is a liner to left field for Kalick, slides, catches it. Nice slide. Had to reach back to grab it. One away.
Yeah, if you're out there on defense and it's even a debate in your head, there's no reason not to pull the trigger and go all out. There's little to lose, but you are making sure that the Rams can't even get that comeback out of the starting gate.
So Treadaway has flied to Kalick 3 times today. Here comes Thomas Kane, 1 for 2, a single. The Rams of Angelo State, they picked up 3 hits in the 4th and 2 more in the 5th, so 5 hits in the last 2 innings. 7 in the game, but they've left 7 men on base. Had a man caught stealing. Here's a bunt attempt on the third base side. Cantwell pounces on it, fires the first, throws it away. It goes all the way into right field before Cantwell, Luke Cantwell, we think it's his brother, throws it in. And in at second base is Kane after the bunt might be scored as a single and an error. It is a single and an error.
Again, just the fact that Thomas Kane is in this ball game, that probably made a lot of Rams fans' days. Certainly made Thomas's day that he was able to bounce back after yesterday's injury.
Well, he tried to rush on that play, throwing it away. So runner at second, 1 out for Justin Harris. 0 for 2, popped to second, struck out looking. Cantwell deals. Up and away, 1-0.
Yeah, it is a single and then an error on the throw.
Both teams have made 2 errors. Both teams have had an error for their pitcher and their shortstop. Cantwell looks at second, deals to Harris, swing and a miss. Waved at that pitch. 1-1.
Not going to surprise you to learn that there is no action in the Westchester bullpen. Andrew Cantwell is going to be given some leeway.
Well, his pitch count is at 89, not too bad. We'd love to see him go as far as he can go and save their staff. That's fouled back. You know you have to play on consecutive days. I mean, you just played yesterday. You're playing today. If you win, you're playing again tomorrow. And then if you win again, you play again Friday, and you're hoping to play Saturday. So you really need that pitching staff to be intact.
Yeah, if they win here, they have at least 3 more games, if not 4, to find pitching for.
It taxes your staff like it hasn't been taxed all year. It's fouled back. It remains 1-2. Meanwhile, even if Angelo State loses this game, I think they want to leave here on a better note than where it stands right now. I mean, if they can at least put 4 or 5 runs on the board at some point, because it just hasn't felt great lately. There goes a runner for third. Swing and a miss, strike 3, but it gets by the catcher, Gifford. And everybody is safe. You got Kane, who stole third. And then you've got Harris getting a first on a strikeout and either a wild pitch or pass ball, I think wild pitch.
A look at the drop third strike.
So Kane gets the stolen base. That is the 25th stolen base of the season for Kane. So runners at the corners, 1 out. And again, they're stealing third, down 10-1, playing their game the way they normally do. Trip Clark at the plate, 1 for 2 RBI single, and he takes a strike, 0-1. Kobe Kelton is on deck.
And Trip out of Waco.
You play him to pull in the infield. We're looking to turn 2 and a swing and a miss. 0-2. Cantwell has sprinkled in 4 strikeouts, including the last one, but that didn't result in an out. He has walked 2. Giving up 8 hits. That pitch in the dirt. 1-2 the count.
Fly out, single, and strikeout. 1 out to show for it. Angelo State quietly has as many hits in this game as Westchester.
Yeah.
Just a 9-run difference.
1-2 to Clark. And a breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's a tough breaking ball on a right-handed batter. So that's 5 strikeouts, including 2 in a row. And that is out number 2. And now the top of the order, Kobe Kelton.
Top of the order, right fielder, Kobe Kelton.
10-1, Westchester scoring 4 in the first, 6 in the fourth.
And both these teams with a brother duo. For Angelo State, it's the Keltons. Well, we've seen the Cantwells here on display.
We assume they're brothers. I don't think we ever got confirmation on that. As far as the Cantwells. But we've seen both Keltons. And Kobe takes a strike. We saw Camden, who is the younger brother. Kobe is a senior. Kane at third, Harris at first, 2 down. Kelton 1 for 3 today, and he takes a ball 1-1. Keene reached on a bunt single, and Harris reached on a strikeout, wild pitch. They are your base runners. 1-1 to Kelton. Way outside. 2-1. Cantwell has gone all the way. The left-hander looking for his first win of the year. He came in 0-3, only his third start. There goes the runner for second. And that throw was short. 2-2 the count, so you got a stolen base there for Harris. His 6th of the year. So 2 men in scoring position now. And 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Kelton. We've confirmed that we have Cantwell brothers.
Which they already knew.
We did know that? Well, they knew, but did we know? I didn't know. That's a foul ball on the third base side.
When Joe's mother tells him that she loves him, he looks it up.
They could be cousins. They could have been cousins.
I hope they're not.
Because we're going with brothers. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kelton. Got 2 men in scoring position here. And the break-even pitch. A hot shot to second, handled by Miles. And that does it for Angelo State in the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left in scoring position, 9 left on base for Angelo State. They are trailing Westchester 10.
Well, there's a pretty good chance that those signs are going to be taped back up in the dugout again tomorrow. Westchester facing elimination for a 2nd straight game. And right now are your favorites to survive elimination for a 2nd straight day. This is the first time Angelo State's been in an elimination game, not suffering a loss until last night against the number 1 seed North Greenville. Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano with you. And the first pitch of the 7th inning. And Keith Flaherty able to shoot one into left, and it's a double to get things started.
And that's the first base runner against Simmering since he came into the game in the 4th inning.
Flaherty had the 2-run home run in the first, an RBI double in the fourth. Adds to his day here. And on to the bottom third of the order. Even with that, Price Simmering's been a bright spot out of the bullpen for Angelo State. Andrew Cantwell, of course, still going strong for Westchester as well. Bunt down. Just let it roll. Let it roll. There you go. Foul ball. You're not going to get the out if you pick it up, no matter when you pick it up. Give that ball a chance. And for those of you, we don't question Jordan Williams knew what to do, but we've seen so many games over this week, some of which you may not have been tuned into, where catcher picks up a ball that they're not going to have a throw, so there's just no harm in just simply letting it roll. And sometimes there is foul. Runner on second, Flaherty. Says Tuicki. A moment ago saw that bunt go foul, now in an 0-2 hole. And the 6'4" junior. 15th appearance in relief this year. 17th appearance overall. And the count will stay. Five teams still in the hunt for the Division II National Championship. Neighbor gets a lot of balls through the window. Left side. And I would love to know what Keith Flaherty was actually thinking, whether he sincerely feared that he needed to get back in that manner, or if perhaps might have been running a little interference to try to help, says Tuicki, get over to there to first.
Could have been a little bit of both.
Just a little bit of innocent interference here.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good play because it looks like you're just trying to get back to the bag.
I'm almost to the base. Maybe I should stop a few feet short of the base.
Yeah.
Justin Harris was not distracted. Big cut from J.R. Gifford. J.R. got to bat twice in the fourth inning. He has walked and struck out twice now. Runner going. Ball comes loose. Would have had him if that ball had stayed in the glove of Jordan Williams. But Keith Flaherty with the stolen base. And Joe, just as you've come to expect, stealing third base with a 9-run lead.
Yeah, that just kind of makes you shake your head a little bit.
Almost out.
Yeah. 13th stolen base of the year for Flaherty. I understand it a little more from Angelo State's standpoint because that's kind of the game you're going to play no matter what. But when you're up that much, I don't know why you try to steal a base.
Well, now the infield for Angelo State again sucks back in onto the infield grass. Another look at the jump.
Some people feel you just play your game no matter what. And that right there, he was going to be out, but the ball popped out of the glove of Williams.
Simmering. Now the runner on third to think about, but just trying to collect as many outs as possible, as quickly as possible. It's worked so far for Price. 1-2 to Gifford. Out of play. Well, whoever wins this presumably is going to have a lot of downtime tonight to think about tomorrow. Get rested up, refocused. And down on strikes, J.R. Gifford, as Simmering fans another. That's his fourth.
Second baseman Zach Miles.
It's 9 strikeouts for the Angelo State pitchers.
Simmering's already brought his ERA down from 6 to 5.34 with a productive relief performance. See if he can keep Westchester on that 10 spot. Just keep that door open for the Rams. Zach Miles, your 9-hitter, a single and a walk, a run scored as well. 1 for 2. Most recently a pop out to second base to lead off the 5th. Keith Flaherty still determined to find a way to come home and score this inning after leading off with a double. With 2 outs now, the infield at least can go back to standard depth. Westchester has scored in exactly 2 innings, but they made it count. 4 in the first, 6 in the fourth. Kobe Kelton in right field. The 3rd out recorded. Again, Price Simmering has held Westchester at bay at 10 runs. Angelo State still with 9 outs to work with here in 2022. Second straight year that there has been a caravan from West Texas to Cary, North Carolina, here on the west side of Raleigh. Arrived with a great turnout this past weekend. They rewarded them with a win in their first game. They ran into the number 1 seed North Greenville last night. Quick turnaround today as Angelo State has managed 8 hits, but just 1 run.
They do have some action. Nick Piccarello, the right-hander, throwing in the bullpen for the Golden Rams.
I would say why mess with perfection, but I'm mindful technically 1 run on 8 hits, not a perfect game. But it's pretty darn close considering expectations in your second straight elimination game. Andrew Cantwell has been a hero today.
If you thought he was short at 5'10", Piccarello is 5'9".
Do we list broadcaster heights?
Thank goodness, no.
Austin Beck. And leading things off here in the 7th. 9 outs to work with. Angelo State's only had 1 inning in which they didn't have a base runner. They went 1-2-3 in the second. Like it's been smooth sailing for Cantwell the entire time. Problem is, Rams just haven't been able to produce runs, while Westchester gave them 10 runs in the first 4 innings. So Austin Beck, Aaron Walters, Justin Lee, the minimum due up, as they are a combined 3 for 7 today. All of whom hovering right around 400 hitters on the year. Again, not a man in Angelo State's lineup with a sub-300 batting average. And you've got 3 men, including Beck, on the plus side of 400. Two from Cantwell, as Beck able to wrap his bat around on that one. Look at that. Speed and ascension up that hill. The 2-2. Out towards center, Zach Wright coming in, but it's the second baseman's ball. It dies down into the glove of Zach Miles.
Probably the last inning here for Cantwell. 109 pitches on the day. We got a couple pitchers in the bullpen now. Another one starting to get loose, right-hander.
Maybe move him to right field and let his confirmed brother Luke pitch.
Confirmed, yeah. Well, they got legit pitchers in the bullpen, though. Looks like a father and son team over there.
Aaron Walters batting .395 on the year. That one's going to hang up there for right, 2 away. And now the Angelo State comeback window getting narrower and narrower. Down to 7 outs. Just 1 to go here in the 7th. Your cleanup hitter, Justin Lee. Walked in the first, struck out in the third, singled in the 5th. 1 for 2 today. 4th time to face Andrew Cantwell. First team All-American from Las Vegas, Nevada, Justin Lee. Mentioned was in the top 2 and top 3 in some of the offensive stats for the nation.
So question, if he goes to the blackjack table in Vegas, does he shake hands with the dealer? Shook hands with the home plate umpire today. I just have not seen that.
Now, we have crew members who are paid to actually pay attention, and they say multiple teammates for Angelo State have been doing that throughout the week.
Ah. That's pretty cool.
The 0-2.
We just didn't notice it, or I didn't. Good manners.
One and 2. And home plate umpire for this one has been Trevor Henson. Adam Berg at first, got Wyckoff out on the field at second, and Ray Chamberlain at shortstop. Ray Chamberlain worked 2 games yesterday. He didn't know he was going to be doing that. He was a hero mid-game.
These umpires have made great calls, too. There have been a lot of close plays.
Nobody on. 2 outs. The 2-2 to Justin Lee. And he's going to see a 3-2 despite the efforts from J.R. Gifford trying to help out his pitcher there. Lee trying to extend the inning for Jordan Williams on deck. Trying to make every out count here towards the end of the season. And they're going to make Kevin Brooks track that one down, and now he's going to give away. Such impressive resumes for so many of these head coaches making their way here. I mentioned Mike LaRosa continuing a tradition at his alma mater, Westchester. Of course, we talk about Kevin Brooks. Everything he does is starting a new tradition. Only coach they've ever known. Luke Cantwell back over his shoulder, makes the catch to help out Baby Bro. 3 up, 3 down. Golden Rams heading back to the plate. Golden Rams getting a little closer to a date with the number 1 seed, North Greenville, tomorrow. Everybody gets in free. That would have been the time to cut away. On to the top half of the 8th.
Timing is everything.
We'll use that as a segue. Angelo State with 8 hits, but have not been able to produce more than 1 run. Westchester looking to add 10 runs on 9 hits. As Beck squeezes that one for out number 1.
The thing for Westchester is that they take advantage when you give them free base runners. They had the 3 straight walks to start the 4th inning and an error on a double play ball. And you just can't get away with that with this team, just like you couldn't get away with they had 5 hitters hit by pitches in an inning yesterday, and they took advantage of it, and that's why they're here.
Well, as it stands, Justin Horn's home run in the 1st inning still on track when it gave them a 2-0 lead, still on track to be your game-winning hit. When Justin touched home and gave them a 2-0 lead, his run has yet to be matched.
And his first home run of the year, which is amazing because that swing looked like he'd been hitting home runs all year.
First of a couple of home runs that inning for Westchester.
Anybody had a bigger game than him as far as RBIs? 4 in one game? I don't think we've seen another game like that.
2 for 4. Home run and the single with 4 RBI. Struck out a couple of times. Bryce Simmering still in relief. I believe your longest tenured pitcher today for Angelo State. Price, 4 innings of work, 1 hit. Most importantly, no runs allowed. He has struck out 4. That 1 hit, a double of the 13 batters he's faced in relief. Again, to put it in perspective, I believe Bryce Simmering in relief today has lasted longer than all 3 starts from their pitchers this week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that, even though they got away with it with their victory on the weekend, has been too much to overcome. But look, even if you were getting brilliant performances from your starting pitching, there just hasn't been any run support either.
No, but can you imagine if he had started this game and pitched this way, because he's gone 4 1/3 innings, 4 2/3 innings, I believe, and he struck out 5, no runs, 1 hit.
Joe Kalick at the plate, looking to run the bases for the first time, 0 for 4 today. Struck out looking, a couple of flyouts and a ground out. Left side to Harris. Well, Simmering continues to report for duty. Out there on the mound. It is another 3-up, 3-down inning, that time in the 8th. Angelo State down by 9 with 6 outs guaranteed remaining here in 2022. Looking to crown another national champion on Saturday here in North Carolina. Back at the National Training Complex of USA Baseball, Coleman Field. Great to have you with us this week here on NCAA.com. As the journey continues right now for 5 baseball teams still in the hunt. We are about to trim it to 4. Andrew Cantwell goes 7 innings in the start, finally gives way to Nick Picarello. For Picarello, the Philadelphia native, already with his degree in his back pocket, the grad student makes his 7th appearance, all in relief. He has thrown 7 1/3 innings this year with 9 strikeouts to show for it, a 4.91 ERA, opposing hitters batting .233 so far.
So you get an opportunity for somebody who hasn't really pitched all that much. After Cantwell went 118 pitches, to go 7 innings, 1 run, 8 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Angelo State scored its lone run in the bottom of the 4th after Westchester had stretched its lead to 10-0. Angelo State still with 6 outs to work with, though they went 1-2-3 in the 7th in the final inning for Cantwell. Here's Jordan Williams. He has scored the only run today. That's when he led off the 4th. He leads off here in the 8th. One for 3 today, the third baseman for Angelo State. The 1-1. And Williams frustrated as that out given away. 5 to work with now for Angelo State as Ferrara squeezes it in.
Well, they haven't had a base hit touchdown in the outfield since the 5th inning. They had the bunt single in the 6th. Yeah, but yeah, things have definitely quieted down for this Angelo State offense now.
Here's Tatum Treadaway. 3 times has flied out to left field. And it was a great effort from Joe Kalick on the last one. So Treadaway 0 for 3. Mentioned baseball's in his DNA.
Man, just a bit outside.
I wonder if you're confused, that last toss was intentionally over to the dugout. That was not ball 3. The 2-0 to Treadway. And we'll see if Treadway keeps that bat on his back shoulder and waits for Piccirillo to throw a strike. Treadway, just a freshman. Had that grand slam in Game 3 of the Super Regional. That ultimately gave Angelo State the lead for good and would lead them here to Cary for a 2nd straight year. 1-out walk.
Not close. Way outside and high. Very high. Very low and in.
Gives way to Thomas Kane. We've already mentioned. Did not expect him to be in the lineup today. Well, he has 2 singles, 2 for 3 with a stolen base as well. That'll get away as Treadaway goes down to 2nd. Two and 0.
Oh, here comes Coach La Rosa.
Got a 9-run lead. Just need you to throw strikes. Lone base runner on base due to a walk. I just think the word strikes is probably being used in that chat a few times.
Joe Messina is getting loose in the bullpen.
Don't need to paint corners. It's okay to give up some base hits. They only have 5 outs to work with. You've got a 9-run lead.
Messina has not appeared here yet at the D2 championship. The LaSalle transfer from Philadelphia.
Yeah, one of 4 LaSalle guys. Messina out of Philly.
There's
Also,
some more action in the pen.
Yesterday was also Messina's birthday. Not sure about the eligibility there on the 29-man travel roster.
Got a lot of birthdays.
Yep, at least one a year.
But I mean, while they're here.
The 2-0. Ask and you shall receive. One out, one on. Mentioned Kane, already 2 hits today. First time to see Piccarello. Count goes full with 1 out. Again, runner on second is Tayton Treadway. Had a 1-out walk a moment ago. Advanced on a wild pitch. Again, only 1 run on 8 hits today for Angelo State. Last inning was just the second time that they had gone in order. High chopper, 2 away. Runner advances to third, but Ferrara secures the second out. Gives way to Justin Harris. In sophomore, third team All Lone Star Conference this year. A .333 hitter coming into this week. 0 for 3 today as the average has dipped to .320. Nick Piccarello, the first man out of the bullpen today for Westchester in this elimination contest, emerges here in the 8th. Just a little over 7 innings on his resume this year. That's certainly an opportunity he'll remember. Count 1-2 to Justin Harris. Two outs, runner on third. Just need to focus on the batter. Westchester, the visiting team, will bat in the top of the 9th. As they hope that'll be the final time they have to bring their bats to the plate until they get to play tomorrow. The 2-2. Left side, ranging over Flaherty, across the diamond. Mike Ferrara kept his foot on the bag. That's out number 3. So Westchester with a 10-1 lead in their second straight elimination game. Looking to go 2-0 with their season on the line. Well, they've been told about those other national championships, but you'll understand if they don't recall 2012 and 2017. And a hit batter is how things begin, as Simmering hits Mike Ferrara in the leg.
Here we go again.
Ninth inning, Lincoln Rose, Joe Castellano. I'm not sure what Joe's referring to.
A lot of hit by pitches for this team. 6 of them yesterday.
Westchester, in both of their elimination games, at one point have had 3 straight batters walked. That's far from the most interesting free passes they've had.
Whoa. That went over the on-deck circle where Flaherty's standing, went right over his head.
Here's Luke Cantwell, the best Cantwell still in this ball game. Andrew Cantwell had a pretty darn good day. finally giving way this last inning to Nick Piccarello after, I think you mentioned 116 pitches?
118.
18,
Yeah.
my apologies.
That's right.
Left side, that gets through. Second hit today for Luke Cantwell. As Ferrara goes from first to second, 2 on, nobody out. 10th hit of the day, finally to match the 10 runs for Westchester.
It's 28 hits given up in the last 2 days by Angelo State.
Here's Keith Flaherty. A 2-run home run in the first was the second 2-run blast of the inning. Added an RBI double in the fourth. Doubled again in the seventh. If you've got him on your fantasy team, you're having a good day. He stole a base as well. Bryce Simmering's been the best arm we've seen for Angelo State today. He had 3 pitchers precede him, each of whom conceded multiple runs during their tenure.
Yeah, he's gone 4 2/3, no runs, 2 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Really good outing. Well, he did hit a batter in this inning.
I'll allow it. Kyle Mosley, hands down, had the best showing for Angelo State this week. Winning pitcher this weekend after he had emerged as the top reliever this past month. Two on, nobody out for Flaherty. So much talent in that Philadelphia area for Westchester to pull from. That includes Keith.
Three extra base hits today.
Two on, nobody out. Punched out towards right. Kobe Kelton backtracking to the wall, makes the catch. And the ball came loose. Was it on the transition?
He's out.
So here's the confusion. All right. Finally, that did allow a runner to tag.
Ball as well.
Yeah, ball is caught by Kelton for out number 1. But at this point, the runners are all retreating. But when this ball ultimately comes out on the transition here, that's when the runner is able to advance over to third.
But definitely out called, so good call.
Here's Sean says to Icky. Angelo State officially was the last team to score in this ball game with a run back in the 4th inning. This may change that. Westchester has clawed that run back. Mike Ferrara comes home after being hit by a pitch to lead off the 9th. Sac fly from Sez Tuicki brings him home.
Everybody who got on with a free pass in this game ended up scoring.
Only 2 men for Westchester haven't scored at all this ball game.
With 5 free passes, all of them turned into runs. 2 hit batsmen, 3 walks.
Here's J.R. Gifford. To keep with that theme, walked and scored in the 4th. Has struck out 3 times. So again, tomorrow we'll be down to 4 teams. We will see all 4 teams. There will be two teams who are 2-0. Caught off the bag, throw down, tag not in time. As Cantwell back after drifting away. North Greenville awaits the winner of this one, though I think NGU believes they know which one it will be. And in our other contest, it'll be Rollins and Point Loma. Rollins will have the burden of beating the Sea Lions twice, while Point Loma would just need to win once tomorrow. Kelton again back to the wall. This one off of the wall. Cantwell will come home. It's a 2-out RBI double for J.R. Gifford, who finds his first base hit of the ball game here in the ninth as they tack 2 on to the lead.
Man, that's pretty good power the other way to go to right field and hit it all the way to the wall. And I don't think Kelton thought it was hit that well, but it just kept going.
12 runs on 11 hits. Second time that Kelton was sent back to the wall. This one just continued to carry beyond his reach. Here's Zach Miles for a 5th time today. He has singled, walked, been retired twice. 1 for 3 with a run scored. I believe it's the 3rd time he's seen simmering. This will get down. Gifford moves to 3rd with ease. Miles with the single. And you're back to the top of the order for a 6th time for Westchester. Zach Wright. He has singled, twice reached on air, has scored twice. First 2 batters this inning reached. Ferrara was hit by pitch. Luke Cantwell with the single. Then a fly out to center and a sac fly. Extended this inning with the RBI double and then now the single. This will be foul. Angelo State has the 9, 1, and 2 spots in the order due up in the bottom of the 9th. Final game of the day. Harris just needs 1, gets it. Well, for the first time since the 4th inning, runs grace the board here at Coleman Field. 2 in the top of the 9th for Westchester to inch them a little closer to being among our last 4 teams playing baseball. 3 outs, and the Rams of Angelo State stand in their way. Five schools still represented on those flagpoles at the entrance here at the National Training Complex for USA Baseball. That includes the flags of the Golden Rams and the Rams of Westchester and Angelo State. We saw a flag drop each of the past 2 days. We've already seen 1 flag drop today, symbolic of teams being eliminated. Today's the first time we double dip.
Now we get to see Nolan Graber on the mound, 1-0, 6.48 ERA. As he makes his 15th appearance all in relief. He has 1 save, 25 innings, 32 hits. He has walked 11, struck out 21.
Nolan's what we refer to as the all-airport team. If you want to walk through an airport terminal and convince people that you've got a pretty good team, get yourself Mr. Graber to join you.
Well, he adds about 8 inches to the mound from the last pitcher, I think.
Here's Trip Clark, and that's what you want to see. Second hit today for Trip Clark. Angelo State still has 3 outs to work with. On to the top of the order. As Kevin Brooks is not inclined to go with some symbolic at-bats to reward some folks. They're here to fight for a national championship, albeit down 11. Kelton today, 1 for 4. Singled back in the third. Austin Beck is in the on-deck circle.
Got over 300 pitches thrown in this game by the two teams.
21 hits, 13 runs. Not everything evenly distributed. For Graber, his obligation, find 3 outs before conceding 11 runs. One and 2. Well, 87-mile-per-hour offering. Westchester first made their way to the championship week back in 06, came back in 09, won it for the first time in 12. Did it again their next time in 17. Here they are 5 years later. They lost their first game this weekend. Picked up a win in the elimination bracket where they will reside as long as they keep winning. North Greenville awaits this one tomorrow. We already know it will be Rollins and Point Loma on the other side of the bracket. Full count.
That's the first game tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, Point Loma Rollins.
Graber's waiting. Trip Clark, first pitch he saw, a single, stands on first. Kobe Kelton on the inside edge of the batter's box. And the count stays full. Bottom of the ninth, down by 11, but all 3 outs to work with. And the payoff pitch pays off for Kobe Kelton, as that one bites him on the left arm.
First hit by pitch today for the Westchester pitchers.
So Trip Clark to second. Here's Austin Beck. 2 for 3 today with a couple of singles and a sacrifice bunt. And your pitcher, Nolan Graber. Andrew Cantwell went 7 innings. Nick Picarillo, an inning in relief. Shot up the middle from Beck. This will score a run. Trip Clark led off this inning with a single on the first pitch he saw. And there are still 3 outs to work with as Clark pulls this game within 10. RBI single for Austin Beck. His 3rd hit of the day.
Now, he had a thumb injury that he had to work through and change his stance a little bit, and it's paying off today with the 3 hits.
A single, a hit batter, and a single. Here's Aaron Walters, 4th man up this inning. Aaron looking for his first hit today. Has walked once. Two 2-0. And I think J.R. Gifford's going to save his head coach some time with the speech about throwing strikes. Again, Andrew Cantwell gave Westchester something that a lot of teams in the elimination bracket wish they had, and that was a pitcher who could just take them late into the ball game with whatever lead he's entrusted with. Now, obviously, the bats throwing that lead helped probably extend his start. Fairly stress-free.
Joe Messina throwing in the bullpen again for Westchester.
Kelton, your runner on second. Beck on first. Still nobody out. The 2-1 to the 3-hole hitter, Aaron Walters. He'll punch this out one to left. And that window starting to slide closed. 2 outs to work with for Angelo State. But you have earned another chance for the first-team All-American bat of Justin Lee. Lee today 1 for 3, batting .430 on the season now. Fifth batter this inning. See Kobe Kelton, the runner on second. 90 feet behind him is Austin Beck, who had the RBI single. Left side, this could do it. Says Tuicki. Throw across, not in time. Angelo State has 1 out remaining. Golden Rams of Westchester. Their fans are getting a little closer to going back to the hotel and says, we're going to stick around for another night. Watch some baseball tomorrow.
They would get ready to play North Greenville tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
It would be the 8 seed versus the 1 seed.
Yeah.
As it would kind of be a 3-game series in and of its own right.
They got to beat North Greenville twice.
North Greenville's already beaten them once.
Yeah. You have to win Thursday and Friday against them to get to Saturday.
What was that, a 3-1 final this past weekend?
Yes, that was the North Greenville win over Westchester, and Coach Landon Powell said it was a little too close for comfort. He was a little nervous about the fact his team didn't score much, but then they scored 18 yesterday.
Made up for lost time. Rams may be down to their final strike. Nolan Graber on the mound looking to close it out. Says Tuicki. To the glove of Miles. And the Golden Rams are still playing baseball. still pursuing a national title. It would be their third. Tomorrow, it'll be Westchester and North Greenville. Westchester needs to beat North Greenville twice this week, while the number 1 seed NGU needs to hand Westchester just one more loss to end this run. For Angelo State, their season ends with a remarkable 51 victories, but with 13 losses, the final of which lowers their flag here in Cary.
Yeah, a great season for Angelo State. They started off strong in this tournament, but just ran into 2 offenses that would not stop scoring. North Greenville yesterday with 18 runs and Westchester today with 12. And give the Golden Rams credit because, as we talked about, a number 8 seed, yet even though they lost their first game, they came from behind yesterday, and then today they just had it going with some big innings. The 4-run first, the 6-run fourth.
We're down to 4 teams in Cary. We will see all 4 tomorrow, beginning with our coverage at 1:30 Eastern Time. As our first game for you tomorrow will be Point Loma and Rollins, followed by North Greenville and Westchester. For Joe Castellano, I'm Lincoln Rose. Talk to you tomorrow.
You can watch the post-game press conferences on the website of the tournament host.